Buffering. Oh, okay. It says I am live. This is excellent news. I'm going to post the notification in the announcements channel, and there we go. So, the point of this stream is that I recently released a video that was called 10 Minutes of Misinformation, and it did significantly better than my average video. And I got lots of comments about it, or comments from friends who said that they wanted to submit misinformation to it. They had ideas and they wanted to share those ideas with me. Boyboy1623 says hello. And it's Whole Note. Hi, Whole Note. Whole Note from EWOW. I know that person. And it's Craig McCune6066 and not Oxylee. It's Zero Sheely. I know these things. And Soul4 and Random. Random says he heard all of this was true. Yeah, it is actually true. Everything in this video is going to be true. So I've opened this form, and it's going to stay open until the live stream ends. It's a form where you can submit whatever misinformation you want. And I have 2 copies of it open. I have one on the stream and one on my other monitor, which because there's no filter on the Google Forms as far as I'm aware, so anything could be submitted, and I've conveniently cropped this this window so you can't see whatever horrible things might come through. I'm going to just filter them a little bit. But we might as well get started, because we have 73 to get through. Zuli says hello. JJTJ9OS says howdy. Quackduck says this is the live stream where I'm getting all my news from. Whole Note says I was considering sending my round 6 response to the form under my name. That would have been pretty funny. I think about 2 people would have understood the reference, but that would have been awesome. And she says, I would like to remind everyone that everything said in the previous video was 100% accurate. This is true. This is very true. Everything in this video and the live stream was true. So we're going to get started with the first submission, which was actually just a test submission by one of my friends in the Discord. I just needed to make sure the form worked. So the misinformation is blonde. It's a very, very scary false fact. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. And, well, actually, there's no point in deleting it. I can just go to the next one. Okay, so the next one is acceptable, and it's from Biss. And Biss says, shrimp fried rice by using a biological heating mechanism that also releases small amounts of oil. So this kind of works. This is like, I want there to be some kind of twist, which the shrimp fried rice twist makes sense, that shrimp have a heating mechanism. Mariud says they're in the VC. I'm not doing the VC for this stream. That would be not, I mean, that wouldn't really work, having a bunch of people commenting on it at the same time. This isn't one of the collaborative streams. Daily EWOW affirmations says shrimp did fry that rice. So this one, I like this one. I think I can work with this one. I've made a form where I'm going to write down the ones that are good so that I can use them later. And also, in the bottom of this form, I've got the Hall of Befuddlement, which is where the really, really bad ones are going to go, which hopefully there will be none. I think if John Blon had been real, it would have gone here, but it wasn't, so he is spared from his fate. J-Dude says, holy shrimp. Mariud says, the stream froze. What are you talking about? It says the stream health is fine. It says it's excellent. I've got a little green circle and it says excellent. And I'm looking at my OBS. I think Mariud's trying to trick me. We're going to go to the next one, which, let me just make sure it's not pornography. It's not. It's actually for Mariud. What a coincidence. So he says, icicles that form on the ground are called icemicles, which I can assume is a play on like how stalactites, when they're on the ground, are stalagmites, yeah, I think there's a way you could rework that to be something that's, I think that also works. I hope I'm not going to have to put like all 74 of these in the good ones list. That would... Maybe we will. I don't know. Daily EWOW affirmation says, repurposed my round 6 response for that one. Just thought of something ridiculous. Oh, amazing. I'm excited for the round 6 parodies. I've looked through them and it looks like there's going to be a lot of potential there. Boy Boy says bad good or bad bad. These ones, well, actually, if it's bad good, then you could include it in the video because the only point in the video is to be amusing, and bad good is amusing. These are going to be bad. Actually, I don't know. We'll see as we progress. We'll see what the pool looks like. Quackduck says blonde. Toasted Artist says everything in this live stream is 100% true and verified. Yes, this is so true. Levon QIR6C says hi and why are tacos? Well, tacos exist because the United States annexed Mexico in 1659 and stole all of their cuisine. I don't know. The By G Wayne says mine's alright, it's kind of mid, I feel. And Taco is asking about D&D. Random says, what in the world is round 6? So I'm in this writing competition called EWOW, and in round 6, the prompt for that writing competition was give a false reason for a true fact, which is basically the premise of my entire misinformation video. So I can just steal a bunch of good ones from that. So Whole Note was going to send my response to that one, which was some pun, I think, about fire. Anyway, number 4 is from Thundercube, and he says, the official iRDM Discord server, WeRDM, is an active and thriving community with a vibrant and diverse user base and enlightening discussions on the regular. You should join it. I hate this guy. I hate Thundercube so much. He submitted like 10. I'm actually... Okay, looking at the... Wait, this is the wrong thing. The summary. So, looking at... Where is the summary? What? There was a summary. I don't know where it went, but there was a summary that showed like how many people had submitted to each question, and there was 5 from Bobby, 5 from Snoozing Newt, and like 10 each from a different Thundercube, which was... He did like Thundercube 1. You'll see it as we go on. Quackduck says, what a bold lie. Whole Note 1 says my EWOW 6 response, which was, fire burns things because it loves makeovers. It makes everyone hotter. I am not proud of that response. That is one of my worst ones. Dilo the Noob says, I think round is pertaining to the default font for Google/YouTube, using only curves to write the number 6. Yeah. That one... You could probably do something with that. MJK... Holy crap, it's the MJK world. That guy was in EWOW too. There are several EWOW people. J-Dudes is also an EWOW person. He says, I'll join WeRDM when I remember to make a Discord alt so I'm not maxed at 100 servers. How are you in 100 servers? What? Do you go outside? I'm a Discord mod and that scares me. Anyway, I'm going to go to number 5, which is from Thundercube 2. And I don't need to monitor the Thundercube responses and it's Blue Gelatin! It's Blue Gelatin, who is also an EWOWer. I think everyone might be an EWOWer at this point. Zero Shi Lee, I can just say Lee, is telling Random that he writes fan fiction as a parry to him saying that I'm a nerd for competing in a writing competition, which is so true. Thank you so much, Lee. Blue Gelatin used to be in 200 servers. Is that possible? I thought the limit was 100. And Patient Meteor says, submit 100 slop. Okay, anyway, Thundercube's next response is from Thundercube 2, who's a completely different guy. He says, the real reason dentists insist on filling cavities is because they don't want you hiding stuff from them in there. This might work in Nazi Germany. You could do something like the practice of filling cavities was invented in Nazi Germany when they were capturing spies, and they didn't want the spies to be able to hide things in their teeth, or something like that. Quackduck says you should join a wronging competition at this rate. Wow. I'm actually doing okay in the writing competition, for your information. Dilo says, this is it. This is Nwao. It's so true. Everyone in here is a Nwower. By G Wayne says, I'm an adult now. Holy smoke. Good job. I'm glad you survived to this point. It's very tough in the modern day. Thundercube's next post is just true. Everyone at some point was very briefly the oldest person on Earth. Oh, wait, no, that's... I'm sorry. The true one is... Okay, that's actually really good. That is exactly the kind of thing I want to do, where it's putting a humorous spin on something that's actually true. Everyone at some point was very briefly the oldest person on Earth. Thundercube, no, you actually didn't miss any... Well, you did. You missed 4 misinformations, but they weren't... Well, they were yours, so they sucked. Carbon Fiber is here. I can't wait to be misinformed again. MJK says, happy 10th anniversary. We're all chronically online and thereby unavoidable. So true! Lee says, I think I say one word of wisdom sometimes when I say the word wisdom. Maybe we should close chat. Okay, so number 7 is also Thundercube. It's from Thundercube 4, A New Hope. That is not the right one. Thundercube 4, A New... What? Okay, there it is. Planets are spherical so that they can more efficiently roll on the fabric of space-time. If planets were pyramid-shaped, they would be unable to roll and thus unaffected by gravity. I kind of like that one. I don't think a lot of people know about the fabric theory of space-time, of like the imagery of the big piece of fabric that planets like make divots in. I don't know if that would hit particularly hard, but I like the direction. Soul4 says number 6, number 7. You can't count in this modern economy. You can't count from 5 to 8. Layan QI says misinformation. Nobody loves you. Aww. Thank you, Layan. Am I pronouncing your name right? I feel like if you're gonna say nice things, I need to pronounce your name right. MM Mirror says, I'm so happy that the pregnancy went well. I haven't been involved in a pregnancy recently, actually. And Lee is saying lactation cookies, because of course they are. Alright, number 8. Thundercube 5, the final submission. The small snail-shaped organ inside the human ear is known as the cochlea. It is named after the scientist who discovered it, Edward Cochlea, who realized the existence of the organ in 1822 after an actual snail crawled inside his ear and attempted to mate with it. Okay. I think if it makes me laugh, like an actual unintentional laugh and not like a polite laugh, I have to include it. Like, you can probably trim it down a little bit, but I know it's technically a sex joke, but it makes me giggle, and I think it would make other people giggle too. All right, so I think we may be out of the Thundercube woods. Nope, there's another one. Thundercube 6. Just kidding. I lied. There's more. I'm gonna look at chat for a second. Taco said 9. Quackduck says involved yet in a pregnancy. And Snoozing Newt says, I'm so happy that the pregnancy went well, iRDM. I have not been involved in any pregnancies in at least ever. Baiji Wayne says, Lee has to be tweaking. Do you not remember your professor giving you lactation cookies because they... Yes, I remember the lactation cookies incident. I was trying to not have to talk about it, but I guess if chat has noticed, I must. So I had a really weird physics teacher who seemed to not care about teaching us the actual content of physics, and he instead just told us that we needed to focus on industry and how the skills we were learning were going to apply to industry. And he just constantly brought up industry. And at a random point in the class, we were doing nothing as usual, and he opens the drawer to his desk and says that he's found these lactation cookies. He just shows it to the class for no reason. And they're like cookies that are supposed to induce lactation in pregnant women. And his wife isn't pregnant anymore, so he doesn't need them. And I ask for the cookies, and I try one, and Well, I did, as you can see, I didn't get boobs, so I didn't lactate. So that's the end of that story. Thunder says you were involved in a pregnancy for about 9 months prior to your birth. Okay. Uh, Thunder, okay. Lil Bro 647 says, as somebody who discovered you an hour ago, I'm very confused. Yeah, it's a pretty confusing time in here. To clarify, we are reading through misinformation. Like I recently made a video called 10 Minutes of Misinformation that was a bunch of humorously untrue facts, and I got several people telling me that they had ideas for more untrue facts, so I thought I'd open up submissions and just review them live for fun. JD says some of these submitters should have joined EWOW. Yeah, I think Thundercube would have been awesome at EWOW. I wish he had joined 2 years ago. Yeah, I knew him 2 years ago. Cheese says, you're just going to pretend like me and our child don't exist. Don't tell them about the child. I gave you $500,000. You have to keep quiet. Please. The Baiji Wayne says, as someone here for approximately 7 years, this is very common in conversations. Thunder says, I remember there used to be an emoji of industry teacher's face. Okay, yep, he's doing that again. Thunder is a double-sided coin, where he's really funny, but he also does things that make me want to punch him every couple weeks. Mariud says, I should join EWOW. That's so true. I'm not reading the rest of that message. Lennox Evans says, this isn't the most confusing stream. Is that misinformation? Are you misinforming me, Lennox? Lil Bro says, awesome video, now we need 10 minutes of information of unknowable validity. That's so true. That's like the midpoint between me and Austin. I need to get back to these. Band Blueprints says Plink. That's so true. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one, I didn't even read this one. CAR, the commonly used acronym for the automobile, is actually an acronym. It derives from the phrase combustion acceleration, which was first used in a 1925 scientific study attempting to figure out how an internal combustion engine works. So there's a lot of room to be made. There's a lot of good opportunities with false acronyms. Like, I have a whole category in my ideas list of false acronyms. I don't think this is a particularly strong one, because combustion acceleration isn't, that's just what the engine does. But there's definitely room in that format. The seventh one is Thundercube 6 or 7. The infamous meat brand Spam was named after spam emails. This was inspired by the fact that WW2 soldiers had to consume nearly endless amounts of the food, an experience they likened to receiving non-stop junk and scam in their virtual mailboxes. So this is also sort of the right format, where it's connecting things in a way you wouldn't expect them to be connected, but I just don't think it's that funny. Like, they're kind of the same thing anyway. Like, the reason spam is used for both of those things is because they have relatively similar connotations. Anyway, I think there were 10 Thundercube. I'm going to skip ahead. Okay, it goes to Thundercube X. So I've got 3 more, and then I swear we'll get to actual people who are not Thundercube. Okay, Thundercube 8. While ice skating and roller skating are the two most common varieties of skating, a third type used to be extremely popular. The ancient practice of cloud skating fell out of fashion almost immediately after gravity was discovered by Isaac Newton in the 1660s. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Okay, I begrudgingly admit that's funny. Dilo says, is there really an or? I don't know what that means. Quackduck says he's calling us bad liars. Oh, or 6 or 7. Random says Thunder is the only person to ever exist. That's so true. It's actually, he's going to be all 85 of these. It's going to go to Thundercube X, or Thundercube LXXV. No, LXXXV. I watched enough Super Bowls to know that. Baiji Wayne, or just Wayne, I suppose I can call him, is the misinformation. What if this isn't the real stream and iRDM misinformed us on where his real stream is? The ultimate ploy. It's true. You're actually watching the fake iRDM, MDRI. I'm his evil twin, and I eat babies for breakfast in my omelets. I'm pretty evil. So Thundercube 8. Oh, I already did that one. Thundercube 9, The Rise and Impact of Misinformation and Fake News on Digital Youth, a critical review. Russia claims to own the vast expanse of the Siberian tundra, but not even they know what's out there. CIA intelligence reports suggest much of the area is controlled by a millennia-old polar bear monarchy responsible for numerous assassinations across history. That was, yeah, that works. It's kind of like what you would expect for if you were asked what's something silly that might control Siberia, my top one answer would be like polar bear monarchy. Or I guess, yeah, I did do Thundercube 8. What are you talking about? It's I put it on the list. Look at that. Thundercube is lying. I hate it when I lie. Oh wait, no, that's the point of the video. A Normal Ben says, coming in here to let you know that when I saw the video in my recommended, I clicked on it because of the thumbnail. Good stuff. Well, thank you, Normal Ben. I appreciate that. I've been learning a little bit of the thumbnail arts from one of my friends. It is like GIMP and what are they called? Vignettes and that kind of thing. Band Blueprint says justice for Thundercube. What do you mean justice for Thundercube number 7? I didn't skip any of them. I have done all 8 of them so far. Thundercube 9, I already did that one. Thundercube 10, this is the last one. Famous webcomic Homestuck is widely known for its name being a lie. The characters spend very little time stuck in their homes. However, as dedicated fans may know, the name actually refers to the homes themselves being stuck in place, as at no point in history do anyone's houses move anywhere. Okay, well this is actually... I'm censoring myself midstream. Yeah, I'd rather not. Like, I swear when I'm with my friends, but I don't want to swear in my content just to keep it as open as possible, because there are many ways to be funny without swearing, and it's just, like, better. It gives you better optics, I think. Wayne says, oh, fun fact, my back is broken. Is that a misinformation? Did you get, like, stomped on? Are you okay? Mariud says, my drugs really irritate. Yeah, that's what MDRI stands for. Okay, so this one is also... I'm putting it on the list. So now we're done with Thundercube. He had a 40% success rate, which is unparalleled, and we have to kill him. Okay, so this one's from Bobby B. According to the IEEE 754 floating point standard, a fractional value is represented by 2 sets of ones and zeros. This was the case until 2005, when computer scientists learned how to count. Okay. I'm unfamiliar with IEEE standards. I assume this is funny. It made me laugh, so I think I'm going to include it. Or at least modify this a little bit. Be a different floating point joke, but I like that. Band Blueprint says no Thundercube. Random says Bobby! Lan says the train is on the track. VLB the VI says just arrived. What truths are being spread? No truths, actually. We are not spreading. That's the opposite of what we're doing. I hate facts and information. Everyone should know nothing. Haunted Tortilla says real. Hi, Haunted Tortilla. Is it misinformation that you're a Haunted Tortilla, or is it true information? Okay, I'm skipping to number 15, which is also from Bobby B. If it's a name I've heard of, I'm probably not going to read... I'm going to read through it live, because I don't think any of the people in my server would post something that would get me kicked off YouTube. So Bobby says, scientists have discovered the specific gene in primates that suppresses both their ability to grow tails and compulsion to roll barrels down scaffolding towards Italian plumbers. Yeah, I can absolutely work with that. I think I'll change the opening to not be about the gene, but you can absolutely like parry something about monkeys into it being a Donkey Kong joke. That's good material. BG Wayne says I can gamble now. Oh, I forgot there's the stream points. Lennox Evans says you don't want to become a VivziePop character. So true. That's actually the only reason not to swear, is to avoid comparisons to VivziePop. Just gonna make sure the stream health is alright. Alright, cool. Look at that. This is amazing. Stream health is wonderful. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next one, which is... that's not the next one. The next one is Joey G. I trust that guy. He says trees are green for the same reason grass is green. Because the sky is green. That is... yes, that's so true. I may need more than 15 slots. I'm being kind of giggly today. I'm gonna have to add more rows to this. All right, it's Joey G. The next one, Snoozing Newt says Geen. Man Blueprint says ISO stands for International Stealing Organization. That's so true. Haunted Tortilla says all information is true. Good point. I think you could say that in a video of lies and it would be correct, functionally correct in Boolean logic. All right, this one's from Eli. Eli said, chocolate technically isn't poisonous for dogs. The real problem is that it affects their bodies the same way that years of fentanyl affect the human body. The negative reaction is actually intense withdrawal symptoms. So I don't quite get that one. It's like if you don't have chocolate for long, or they really like chocolate, so if they have the drug once, then they start dying of withdrawal really quickly. I get that one. I don't think it's punchy enough to work for a video, but I see where you're coming from. That's like good formatting. Layan is just spamming emojis. BG Wayne says, I meant IRL, but that were... Oh, you're gambling in... Oh, yeah, you said you were old. You shouldn't gamble. Please don't gamble. Random says, iRDM, I would read my submission before you put it up on the stream. Okay, that's concerning. I'm glad you warned me, at least. I don't know when it is in the list. Oh, here's another one from Bobby, who says that studies have shown crabs actually like being boiled alive. That's a little simple. I just like people like thing that wouldn't like this thing likes bad thing. I think there are a lot of things you could do in that format. I probably won't do that specifically. Mariud says IEEE stands for I ecstatically eviscerate exponents. I don't know anything about electrical engineers, but maybe they hate exponents. Layan says bye, guys. Goodbye, Layan. Thank you for spending some time with us. Taco says, was that misinformation? Should I gamble? No, you shouldn't gamble, actually. Lee says, wait, you should make a paradox misinformation in the video like, this sentence is false. That's actually a good idea. I'm just going to mark that down. Okay, so next one is also from Bobby. I know we only have 5 Bobby ones, which is half of the Thunder ones. Okay, so this one is Bluetooth is named after a Viking king, but the original alternative name was Peripheral Entity Network Intercommunication System, which lost by only 1 vote. So guys, if you look at this acronym, you'll see something really funny. Okay, so the next one is from Snoozing Newt. Hey, that's not Bobby or Thunder. Awesome. Snoozing Newt says the 97-year-old NYC diner that still serves their Coke the old-fashioned way has recently been shut down after owners were arrested for allegedly laundering over $2.3 million. That... I don't... It's making me laugh, but it's not, like, there's no joke. It's like an anti-joke. It's just... There's no punchline here. It's just... I think if it makes me laugh that hard, I'm legally required to include it. This form is going to be gigantic. J-Dude says up to 100 responses. Really? Oh, wow. Good grief. Awesome. Toasted Artist says bye. Craig says lol. Mirror is also laughing. I assume this is at Snoozing Newt's misinformation. Liquid Peppermint says the what? I don't know what you mean. They could be referring to anything. But this is a misinformation stream where people, they post misinformation, which are things that aren't true. I'm going to look at number 21, which is also from Snoozing Newt. After surveying 3,000 teens around the world between the years of 1985 to 1995, the country that was found to be the happiest was the Ottoman Empire, which did not exist at the time. So, what Patient Meteor says Troller is being silenced. Let him in. Is this on? Oh, it's on Top Chat. Put it on Live Chat. Why would Troller not be allowed? I don't know. Troller. Wait. Oh. It's because his name is I Love Terrorism. Of course. Why wouldn't Troller's name be I Love Terrorism? I keep forgetting about that. Liquid Peppermint says this is an information stream. That's so true. You're getting the idea. Mariud says the 97-year-old streamer still makes his videos the old-fashioned way. Yeah, with the hand crank camera and the frame-by-frame animation, for sure. Number 22 is Bobby B. It's these... Quack Duck says, you love, huh? Toasted Artist and BG Wayne say 420 and 21. All right, so this one's from Bobby. The majority of water used by data centers is from their janitors getting thirsty. Okay, actually, I kind of need a drink of water. I'm getting kind of thirsty. I've been talking for half an hour already. Good grief. Thunder says, this is a stream of information. No, there's a better name for that. A stream of consciousness. I called it the live stream of consciousness, was the 24-hour. No, that was when I was talking continuously for a straight hour. That was a terrible stream. Good grief. Did I write that one down? I didn't. Paste that. That's the same thing. Copy that. Bam, bada zingus. All right. So next up, we have Snoozing Newt again. It's all going to be these three people. Ethan Storm Chasing says Diddy was innocent. That's like on the border of what I can include in a video, because I'm not saying anything about what he actually did. I'll write that down. I'm on my other, like, my ideas document for a maybe. But Newt's next response is, Hilbert's Hotel is a famous hotel in Venice with 240 rooms and one penthouse suite. Okay, that's another. Oh, hey, Joey. He says he just missed yours. Yeah, but it was really good. Wait. Yeah, I put it in the list of good ones. Good. I liked it. Very funny. Okay. Toasted Artist says, go job edu. Oh, good job edu. Random says, there is no way you've been entertaining enough for me to watch you for 30 minutes. Yeah, it's actually only been 2 minutes. Time is dilating because it's so boring. BG Wayne says, you know who else is kind of thirsty? Eduardo Moraes 207 says, I died this morning, but I made a pact with the devil so I could participate in this stream in exchange of the souls of every member of my entire family. I could actually do a misinformation like that. Something like, I died this morning, but I was revived by something. I think I'm gonna copy that part and also put it in my ideas folder from Eduardo Moraes. I died this morning. All right. So Snoozing Newts, this isn't. It's an anti-joke. It's like the premise is more interesting than the conclusion, which it's funny, but like if you have enough anti-jokes in one video, do you start expecting them, and it's not funny anymore. And I already have quite a few anti-joke answers. Sulphur says, fun fact, I did not make a submission. And the winky smiley face makes me think that is also misinformation. Ectoplasm 4413 says the evil ideas document. So true. I actually have admitted to 15 different crimes in this other document. It's a very scary place to be. Mariud says, I have PTSD pertaining to the two 24-hour streams. There was only one 24-hour stream. We do not talk about the first one. It did not work. Sulphur says, did anyone else click the thumbnail because they thought it was a girl? I'm going to have to kill Sulphur. He's going to have to perish violently in the middle of the night and never be seen again. Oh, the next one is from Justin. Where is he? Okay. Italians heavily advise against splitting pasta noodles when cooking, as it changes the overall flavor of the dish. Instead of the normal flavors of spaghetti bolognese, splitting the pasta adds an acrid, bloody aftertaste to your dish. This is caused by the Italian person you have attracted who has conveniently stabbed you in the back at the throat with a paring knife. That's really good. That, like, your food tasting like blood because you did something to offend the culture of the food, or the culture that the food came from, that is really good. I'm going to include something to that variety. The BG Wayne says, Justin like Justin Bieber. Yeah, so true. Layan says Mariute is bald. That's actually true. He lost all of his hair in a tragic hair loss accident. He fell into an oven. It was scary. Joey says, I will help with the sulfur issue. Please, please get rid of him. And that's it. Oh, Dilo says, I think it's funny how I was typing a submission for this, but accidentally sent it to someone else. Yeah, a piece of misinformation completely out of context would not be a great thing to run into. Just like something horrible like, in 1996, I killed 5 innocent people because they looked at me funny. And you just send that to your mom or something. That would be not good. VLB the VI says, I have not made 2 submissions. Guys, I think that means he's made 2 submissions. Or she, or they, I don't know. Glilded Cheese says, I hope to acquire a sausage link by watching this video. I am not sure how that would happen, but if you can procure $5 and send it to me, I can buy a sausage for you. And the misinformation part is that I will give it back. All right, number 25 is from Izcan, which is, ha ha ha, misinformation. This is all true. Yeah. Guys, I think this might be our first entry in the Hall of Befuddlement. I'm sorry, Izcan. I don't think this response was sent in seriousness. I'm gonna have to put you in the pain chain. Gilded Cheese says, I might have to go soon. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by, showing up. Both of those sentences. Soul4 says, one day someone's gonna be frantically Googling how to CPR and see your misinformation in the AI overview. That would be amazing. That would be so cool. I would love to unintentionally be responsible for someone's death. Quickster says, I actually got here somehow-ish soon. Yeah, welcome to the stream. We've only been going for 37 minutes. Thunder says, the reveal that the Hall of Befuddlement exists. Yeah, I showed this at the start, but it's to the evil version of the good ones. I could call it the bad ones, but I think befuddlement best describes how they make me feel. Because, like, this isn't offensive. It's just befuddling. All right, so the next one, we're going to number 26, which is from Snoozing Newt again. All right, hey, we're up to my lucky number, 122. Because that's the number of attempts the Jelly Escape stream took. Jelly Escape stream. Wayne says, mine is honestly mid. Gilded Cheese says, I'm Layan, just less cool since I changed my name. Oh, well, hello again, Layan. It was good to see you for more than 3 minutes. Quickster says, I watched through the beginning of the stream at 16 times speed. I don't think that's possible in default YouTube, or unless they've updated something. Snoozing You says, Occam is a luxury razor blade brand. When someone is referencing Occam's razor in a logical argument, they mean that when faced with 2 competing explanations, the one that's more expensive is usually the one that's correct. That's fantastic. That one is really strong. I might slightly modify it to be like money, like saying that I'm right because I have more money than you, like that kind of mentality. But either of those would be great. That top tier Snoozing Newt post. And I thought Snoozing only submitted 5, but it feels like we've looked at more than 5. 27 is also Snoozing Newt. Cheese7852, the cheese guy I know, says, I have a cheese brother? Oh yeah, there are 2 cheeses with Z's. Assassin9477 says, whoa, hey, I just saw the 10 straight minutes of misinformation video. What cool timing. Hello, that is pretty cool timing, that you came in right as the stream was, well, it started like 30 minutes ago, but you're still here for at least 75% of it, because we got, looks like 104 left to get through. I Love Terrorism says, I hath returneth. I gotta stop saying your name. I gotta start calling you Troller. Saying that name out loud might not be great for for optics. Tick Skid, TIK Sky GD, I don't know, says, I just submitted a lie that my parents actually told me under the name Gink. Okay, I hope Gink isn't a slur. I'm gonna write that down for later and try to remember the context on that Here's the form, or my normal one. Okay, so the one by Gink is from parents told unironically. Joey G says bye-bye. Goodbye, Joey. It was good having you. I appreciated your information. Ectoplasm4413 says, same, I just watched that video. It was gas, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that. Snoozing Newt says, derogatory informal. Oh, no. Oh, crap. I gotta check the dictionary. Oh, no, it just means an idiot. It's not a slur. We're fine. Awesome. Okay, JJTJ90S says, you recognize the bodies in the water. I actually already have that in my list. Someone else already suggested that specific idea. I think it was in the Discord, which is linked in the description, by the way. You should join. Okay, we're going to go to number 27, which we're already on, which is Newt again. While many languages have one, there is no word or equivalent phrase for pink in the... There's no word or equivalent phrase for pink in the English language. Snoozing Newt is 3 for 4, or 3 for 5. This is crazy. That one is also really good. I don't have any commentary. That's just like the perfect misinformation joke. MM Mirror says, you are not the father. Banana Slug Woo says, wait, we're at 27? Yeah, we're at response number 27. I'm going through them in order. J-Dude says, curious. Quickster says, that's peak. Dilo says, I do wonder how long a video could be being comprised of poor Google AI misinformation. I don't know how you could get well, like they've optimized it a lot since the time when they were sourcing like Reddit and saying to drink glue to heal you or something. J-Moon says, one that I remember hearing is frogs' brains are the main ingredient in milk. I'm going to write that one down too. That one is... I mean, you could do some variation of that, like certain food is made out of certain ingredient. And I'll credit that to J-Moon. Mariud says, this feels like an ant walking across an infinitely stretching log. Oh, good grief, we're at 138. We were at 100 like 10 minutes ago. Am I gonna be able to get through all these before it's like midnight? Ectoplasm says, at this rate of about 1.5 minutes per response, and about 1.55 minutes per new response, the stream will never end. Okay, that, I don't like that message. I'm gonna delete that. Please don't say things like that. Like, you can still stay in the stream, it's fine, but please be more careful, but don't be gross. I Love Terrorism says, we have trapped Eardrop in a perpetual prison. Half-Blood Dragon says, it's a streamathon now, boys. Tick Sky GD. No one is saying the pronunciation of their names in chat. I'm just gonna keep, unless I'm just nailing them all, I don't know. Tick Sky GD says, I don't know what your milk is made out of, but mine's all frog brain. That's so true. It cannot factor numbers. I don't know what that means, what that's referring to. Or, I think that's talking about Google AI, that it can't factor things. So, I wrote down that one. Okay, number 28, which I'm going to check first, is from, it's Panini Pancake! I love Panini Pancake. He's so cool. He says, on a Mac, the spinning rainbow wheel / beach ball cursor was chosen to indicate an unresponsive app because they wanted to reference how spirals are associated with hypnosis. The spinning wheel of doom is leaving the app in a trance. So this one it's like the eWow response, kind of funny. I get where you're going with it, and it's definitely a break in expectations, but the final result isn't that funny, unfortunately. I definitely like the construction of it. Gabriel says, there is no war in Ba Sing Se, quoting to John Orwell from 1948. Thundercube says, my name is pronounced God, by the way. That is not true. I'm not going to call you that. See, this is why I want to kill Thundercube. I have to kill him, but I have to keep him alive because he gives me good stream ideas. Topaz says, can you pronounce my name? Yeah, it's Twippy Z, I think. Something like that. Edward Kropp says, you completely butchered my name, by the way. It's actually pronounced as just shouting as loud as you can from the top of your lungs. So I don't think I've said, or no, so it'd be Edward! It's, sorry, that just kind of came out. I probably shouldn't do that anymore. My mom is asleep. Lee says, I'm back. Can we look at the submissions that you picked real quick? Sure. I've picked about 2/5 of them that I've looked through. A couple from Snoozing Newt, a couple from Bobby, a couple from, well, quite a few from Thunder, and one from everyone else. And one from, yeah, there are plenty of good ones. Ectoplasm says, harvest thunder like a domesticated animal. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Chat just caught up to the scream. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that again. Mariud says, are you saying that you love Thundercube as a person because this is all misinformation? That's so true. I can actually say anything on this stream and get away with it because it's technically, well, it's misinformation. Nothing is true. If I say, I killed a man in 2019 in a dark alley because he had a very valuable ring on him, and I put the body in the dumpster and never went there again, I can pretend that's misinformation because that's what this stream is about. Happy Orb 306 says, gee whiz. Topaz says, wait, should I submit the ones I made a few days ago? I already put one of them, or two of them, I think, in my actual document, but you can submit them to the form if you like. I can review them. I probably won't laugh as hard as them, because I already saw them and laughed at them the first time. But if you want other people to see them, then sure. Edward Kropp says, I was Eduardo Morais or something, but I changed it because I actually didn't want to change it last week and only remembered it today because I attempted to pronounce it. Oh, okay. So this is Eduardo, or Edward Kropp. Dilo says, were they slashed by them? Quickster says, my name is 6 characters longer than I want it to be. I do not know why YouTube added a handle system. That's so true. I hate numbers. We should get rid of numbers. J Moon says, put this in that out of context thing you were planning. I don't think so. Liquid Peppermint says, hoping my submissions are gone over. I thought hard about them and they're dumb, as am I. I'm going to get through all of these. I may have to stop reading chat as much if I'm actually going to get through these. I want to be able to actually read everything that's being said, but I also want to read these. So anyway, I'm going to go to number 29, which is from, it's Big Wayne, or by G Wayne. That's how, it's Big Wayne. Got it. Okay, so his misinformation is Dr. Pepper didn't actually complete their doctorate and yet continue to sell their products without issue. I think you could do something with that. That Dr. Pepper didn't actually, like something about getting sued. The Dr. Pepper company got sued for not having a doctorate. I think I can rephrase that a little bit to make it good, but that's a good idea. I've been pronouncing it the by G Wayne because I couldn't tell, but you didn't say anything until now. J-Dude says, I submitted mine right before the stream started at about 75. Good grief. We've over doubled since the start of the stream. It's never going to end. Dilo says, for your information, this is a 24/7 live stream. No, I can't do it again. Gabriel E5G3E says, the Mexica Macahuitl was a very effective blender that was used very effectively to process horse meat and other imported meat products from Europe. I don't know what that reference is, so I assume other people won't either. Big Wayne says, I did twice before, you just didn't see them. Oops. That may have been because I had it on top chat, or I'm just clueless. I don't know. It produced that little box again. Lee says their submission is also about Dr. Pepper. Stars Adoring says Dr. Pepper is so good, I think it makes up for a lack of a doctorate. Yeah, I would hire Dr. Pepper just with like a GED or something. I'd hire Mr. Pepper. Doesn't sound right. And Mariud said something. iRDM stands for Reclad Dolk. I need to get back to the facts. Number 20, we already did 29. 30. It's from John, and his misinformation, and his name is John. This is like a bare minimum fact. It's like technically, it's incorrect, but it's not really nuanced in any way. And I think I know who sent this, so I can insult it as much as I want. This sucks. John, you suck. You're stinky, poopy, bad response. I'm putting it in the fart hall. Okay. Well, it's not misinformation if it comes from John. Craig says, I submitted my one like an hour before stream under I'm a Ducklin. Okay. I'll try to watch out for that. Half-Blood Dragon says, sleep stream. No. I cannot review responses in my stream. Gabriel says they thought the Aztec sword joke was cute. I assume it is if you understand the reference, but I don't know very much about the Aztecs at all, so I'm sorry. Taco says, I didn't send that, actually. It's put John in quotes. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thunberg says, Eggberg. So true. It was actually submitted by John Eggberg. All right, the next one is from the Council of the Snail. Why is my nose so itchy? I've scratched it like 15 times. He says, the snail approaches. Did you know the immortal snail can't actually kill you? The immortal snail hypothetical was conjured by our ancestors as humorous, yet somewhat serious, metaphor about motivation. If one is to imagine a perpetual danger to their life, safety, or well-being, they may be more motivated to continue in their efforts at keeping going instead of focusing on the dullness of nihilism. Regardless of the reality of this danger, keeping one on their toes, you can always touch a snail. This is way too long, but I think you might be able... I don't think enough people know about the immortal snail joke to understand this. I don't want to do things that are super obscure references, but this is... I could see this being funny if the whole group knew about it. Number 32 is from Microsoft Support. Once you've logged into your local Windows account, okay. There's... Quickster says, Delo is a very risky username. That's so true. Delo says, these AI chatbots are so immersive. Fun chatting with you and Sanjay. Mirror says, you must stop all this dilly-dally of reading chat. There's work to be done. You're fighting a war here, and only you can fight it alone. Yeah, but I want to respond to the people that are just joining to show them that I'm, like, paying attention to them. Egadoof says, iRDM will finish reading all responses within the next 24 hours. Please, let this be the one true fact said. Haunted Tortilla says, remember, you're here forever. Sanjay. Oh, it's Sanjay from TWOW, or from EWOW. Nice to see you, Sanjay. Thank you for making one. I've got a... The amount of responses is almost tripled. 174 is too big of a number. Xmorphias6888 says, did somebody say Homestuck? Milo City says, like, this is still me, Delo, but I was just lazy to change. Oh, it's Milo City from EWOW. Foxrus says, hello. Hi, Foxrish. And Egadoof says, it's Egadoof. All right. So, Edward Crops, I've got to stop reading chat. I need to finish this. This one, it's probably funny. It's very dense. I really can't do a gag that's that long. Number 33 is from Legal Advice. Says, it used to be illegal in several countries to microwave metal objects such as metallic forks, knives, and pistols. In 2025, in the United States, President Donald Trump signed a bill titled Common Utilities Microwavable. Under this bill, laws which prohibit people, in the U.S. at least, from microwaving their metal objects are now free to do as they please regarding these objects. Most information can be found on the White House's kitchen section of the website. It's currently down... Yes, you can... This would be a good one if I condensed it down into like 2 sentences. That is way too long, but the idea of it being legal to microwave, or recently legal to microwave metal objects, and like pinning it to a political figure so that like his supporters would do that, that's really funny. That works. 34. From George Flower! I love that guy. He says, he says, George Flower is not awesome. That's so true. I would include that if I was stupid. No one knows who George Flower is, aside from like 10 people in my Discord server. So, Mr. DFB 1980 says, yo. Underscore Alex D says the suffering will never end. Please save me. Metro Gondola says, I think I'm going to report this stream for misinformation. Everything I'm saying is true. You gotta believe me. Patient Meteor, Random, and Troller, I'm not saying his name anymore, I'll say George Flower. Thunder says Goreg is alive. He's gotta be alive. Surely this couldn't be an imposter. This form with no email verification. Surely. 35 is from No, and it's about Dr. Pepper. So I assume this was Lee. Dr. Pepper was invented by accident when John Pepper was showing his boss his new soda flavors, and the glass bottles all broke and mixed together in the car ride. That's all right. I mean, that's the kind of format you want, but it's not like thing was invented by accident. Generally, you expect the accident to be something entertaining, but just they broke in a car ride isn't that good. But I appreciate the attempt. Lennox Evans says Sisyphus moment. Yoki Tem, or Tem as he is commonly known, says, I can't believe Goyarj is back. I love George Flower. Ectoplasm says, let's get this form to 200. Please. Please let me be free. I'm going to get to like past 75 and it's all going to be one guy submitting like Janarf 100 times. Alex D says John Running invented running when he walked twice at the same time. I do want to do something of that format because I really like that joke, and I feel like you could do something, you could modify it a little bit to be like John Computer invented computers when he tried to book twice at the same time. Something stupid like that. Lee says close the form responses. I might, but it's also kind of funny. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is 36, and it's also from Bobby, and I'm going to skip it because it's cringe and stupid. So the next one is from Bobby, and he says, I am Mr. Beast. So this is what the form is constituting of. That's not even going in the befuddlement hall. That took 2 seconds to come up with. Bobby, I'm disappointed in you. Go to your room. The name, it's another one from Thundercube. Thundercube, Act 10, Act 2. iRDM stands for Inebriated Ramblings. Dipsomaniac makes? What is a dipsomaniac? Egadoof says this guy is the Emperor from Warhammer 40k. Mount Grape says no way. Patient Meteor says why did I submit this? That's so true. I don't understand that one. That like normally it's okay. We all make mistakes. Next up we have Thundercube again. Act 10, Act 2, Intermission 1. The reason robots in science fiction are always programmed to act like they have a gender is because it would mess up their code if they were non-binary. I hate that that's funny. This whole video is going to be sourced to Thundercube. I don't know what number that was. I think that would be 12, actually. Random says, I missed the iRDM channel. What? It's still there. It hasn't disappeared. What are you talking about? Oh no, my channel is gone. Okay, I'm going to the next one. The next one is, it's not loading. Oh no, is the stream crashing? No, it's Thundercube again. Thundercube says, the lowercase t, commonly used as a symbol of Christianity, stands for the Bible. Stars Adoring says, counterpoint, Robots 2005. Morpheus says, that's so good, and Random says, awesome pun. Mariute says, Alan Turing was a cutie patootie, and then messed up the heart. Aha, laugh at this user. Aha, laugh at this user. Assassina9477 says, Mr. Beast. I'm not sure how these crowns work. I don't know. Yeah, Topaz says Thundercube is good at this. He is. We need to restrain him. We need to throw him in the pits after he gives me all of his facts. Wait, what did that do? I pressed the super key. Did that destroy the stream? No. No, it did not do anything. The stream, as far as I can tell, it's still functioning. Yeah. Okay. So Undercube 13. IKEA. We've got a comment from IKEA himself. Holy crap, I love that store. He says, "What's up, iRDM?" Hi, IKEA. I'm going to try to... IKEA gave me a few good suggestions for the next misinformation video, and I'm going to try to do at least a couple of them. This one's from Bobby again. He says, "The word algorithm comes from the German phrase alles gut im, which roughly translates to strap everything in, a reference to how early computers shook violently during calculation." That one's really good. That one, like, false translations are a really big field that you can pull from, and that is a good example. Like, computers shaking is very funny. Gabriel says, "This man plays Mac in the underrated film Big Trouble in Little Antarctica." So true. Little Antarctica is also known as Minnesota. Lee says, why is there music now? What? There is not music playing. No, there... I've been pranked. I hate Lee. I'm gonna kill Lee. That terrified me for a second. I thought my weird ASMR playlist was playing somehow. And my, like, pressing the super key did that. Anyway, I wrote this one down, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're going on to number 42, which is from Hideki Tojo. And it has the word naked in it, but I think it's probably fine. That's not it. He says, air pollution was invented by the government to cover up flying naked alien tourists. When they don't like what they see, they sneeze in our lungs to give us cancer. That's, what? No, this is not, okay, someone named I swear to something I can't say says, "I thought the music was intentional." There is not any music playing. I am looking at my mixer, and the only there is no desktop audio. I'm muting the desktop audio, actually, and my all other sources except the mic. I'm not crazy. There is no music playing. I would hear it on my own. I'm sorry. I'm getting carried away. Number 43. It's from Average User 11. I know that guy. He's in the Discord. He's awesome. He's very level-headed. He says, "You can make obsidian by kissing men." All right, we're moving on to number 44, which is also from Average User 11. He says, "The Riemann hypothesis fails at 67. $1 million, please." You could... Okay, now everyone is talking about the music. The music is not actually there. I'm not falling for it. I can see on my mixer that the only audio coming out of this stupid stream is my voice. That's it. There's no hidden mixer. I'm going crazy. So we're going to have to throw Happy Orb 306 and Tick Sky GD into the lava. J-Dude says, "Someone make the voices in my head go away." J-Moon says, "I've noticed your voice seems oddly similar between your streams and videos." I don't know how normal it is. Well, yeah, I generally talk in the same videography cadence. Liquid Peppermint says, "It's not music, it's ASMR." Okay, so the informants are giving deferring testimony, which means it's actually false. Random says, "The only audio coming from my computer is your stream," and I've got to stop reading these stupid comments. You can't trick me, demons. Out of my body, Legion. You can actually... I think I could do something with this, too. Probably not formatted like this, but that's like something about falsely solving one of the... I think they're called Millennium Problems to get the $1 million. You could definitely do something with that. Next one is also from Average User, and he says, "Shrimps are cannibals, as evidenced by shrimp fried rice containing shrimp." Stop talking about the music! It's not real! There is no music! You do not recognize the bodies in the water. Gabriel says, "Oh no, the moaning noise and bit crushed stock scream sounds. Egadoof says, in the last misinformation, 7 more misinformations were added. Random says, everyone keeps submitting. Let's get this up to 300 responses. I think if it hits 300 responses, I will close the form. I don't want to be... Newt, there is no music. Metro Gondola says, Iran was created by John Iran when he tried to... Dang it, man. Okay, that one's also funny. Okay, I'm gonna have to add more slots. We're gonna add so many slots. Rows below. 6 more. I mean, with 300, who knows? Rows below. Okay, that's fine for now. Shrimps are cannibals as evidence. I'll add this to the Biss one, because I probably don't want to do 2 shrimp jokes, but I'll add this, and then also average user. There we go. Okay, so number 46. This is from, oh hey, we got Quack Duck. We finally got to him. HR from John says, does anyone know what song is playing? I gotta Jadu says, can you turn down the mariachi band? There is no music! Topaz says, you need to prank everyone in the stream by playing Finite Demons and then pretending that nobody can hear it. First of all, I'm honored that you even remember Finite Demons. And second of all, that's a great idea. I have a second monitor, so I could start playing some, like, what's that Rabbids song? Yeah, here we go. I don't know if you can hear it if I turn on my desktop audio. Come on. Is it gonna load? There we go. Okay, awesome. So you guys are gonna have to listen to that as punishment. So the next one is from Quack Duck, who says, is that... No, that's not louder than me. You can... I'm going to turn it down a little. Okay, so the U.S. Navy SEALs get their name for the population of killer seals with whom they had to wrestle for control over the U.S. mainland and coastline. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the Rabbids music. With whom they had to wrestle for control over the U.S. mainland and coastlines. Even... Everyone's saying, why did you turn the music off? I'm going insane! We've been streaming an hour, but it feels like I should have lasted at least 2 hours before breaking my mind in half. I'm turning off the music. I hate all of you. I hate everything so much. Okay, I'm looking at Quack Duck's submission, and I'm going to read it with a clear head. Topaz says, or play the Costa Rican anthem. How does he know this? How does he know the deep lore? This is awesome. Mega respect for Topaz. Cades Paulding says, fun fact, the comma was invented by giraffes. That's the stupid kind of random, but it's so left field that it kind of works. I really like that, actually. Okay. J-Dude says... that's Taco says, I love Rabbids. Bootyman20 says, I liked the music. There was no music. There was no music. J-Dude says, when did you learn to play this good? I'm a master trumpeter, actually. That's what I've been doing this whole time. Squidman says, where did the music go? VLB says, where did the music go? Egadoof says, you've been streaming for I've been streaming for a number of videos. Oh, Topaz says he watched my videos. Yay! Yippee! This makes me smile. Bootyman says you've fostered a community whose only shared interest is gaslighting. What do you think would happen? That's actually a really good point. This is literally a misinformation stream. Why would I expect them to tell me true things in chat? Soul4 says check your carbon monoxide detector. Avastra841 says, fun fact, the saxophone was invented by Martians. See, that's kind of just the same joke as this one. It's like the random thing was invented by random creatures, so I wouldn't put both of those in there, but that's the right idea. Yokitem says, did you know that no matter how hard you try, you cannot poop directly on the floor? I am too giggly today. Egadoof says, stop reading chat. Probably a good idea. Smoke VR says, do you just now have a horde of misinformation enthusiasts after your recent video? Probably. I would imagine, given that there are 230 false things in this form. Gabriel says, synthetic schizophrenia. Tick Sky GD says, the comma is short for calm, ma, an old-timey phrase for take a breath, hence why it indicates a pause. Baha. She says, real talk, at least 75% of iRDM's relationships involve an endless amount of gaslighting. Okay, that's just us. We gaslight each other because we love each other. It's how we show our love. Mario says, one response per 5 minutes. I'm sorry! People in chat are being too funny. Evan Kim says, when will you read out submission number 227? You know what? I can just do that one right now. Just like to break, or I was just going to remember, I was at number 46. All right, number 227. Just going to check it first. Okay, it's not bad. From Raven says, the IRS refers to the the income revocation syndicate. Income referring to earned income and unearned income. Revocation referring to the fact that all U.S. dollars are property of the United States of America and has the right to ask for it back any time. And syndicate referring to the fact that the members of the IRS are not elected. That's so true. That's that's a solid backronym. I don't think it's like punchy enough to work for the video, but I do like where your heart's at. Or where sorry, that sounded really condescending. I do like it. Gonna go back to 46. Yeah, 46. Which was Quack Duck, which I didn't even read. The U.S. Navy SEALs get their name for the population of killer seals with whom they had to wrestle for control over the U.S. mainland and coastlines. Even to this day, conflicts between the two groups still arise. Yeah, I guess that... I don't think I'm gonna... I feel bad saying no to suggestions, but this... like it's kind of cute. But it's not really punchy enough. Hex Morpheus says, you were on submission number 2. Mirror says, I'm cheating by going forward. IKEA says I was at submission 64. Random says, it's going to be a few minutes. Smoke. Yeah. And Sanjay says, the word chat can be abbreviated as C circumflex? I have dementia. I remember I wrote the number down. I'm not forgetting things. I'm not going crazy. We're at 241. I'm gonna write down that we're quitting at I'm pausing and closing the forum at 200 or at 300. I'm just writing that down. I'm not gonna forget that. You forgot to read 46. Don't forget to read I did read 46. What are you talking about? It was the Navy SEAL one. What is going on? This is from Quick. The laughing crying emoji was invented in 1945 when a U.S. military general could not explain his frustration in words alone while at a discussion. It's like 1.5 breakages of expectation where it doesn't end up making sense. I think I kind of like the idea. Prometheus, Rotato, Chips, and Salsa, the Navy SEALs one, you read it twice. Yeah, I did read the Navy SEALs one twice because I started it. Soul Force says, I hear beeping. You do not hear beeping. There is nothing coming from my room. The only thing that's beeping is the device I put in your head that will explode if you say anything else ever again. Quick says, the hit game Team Fortress 2 was originally inspired by Gaben putting on a hat that fit really well. Okay. I'm not going to do specific references, but that's pretty funny. Quick also says, this statement is paradox. Okay, I actually already have the idea to do a paradox from Lee, but I can add Quick's name to that. Why not? Okay, so next is... Oh, oops, I forgot to check that one. it has no name, and when you punch someone in the genitals and the butt at the same time, they will take a screenshot. Okay, censored, that kind of works. And I don't have to credit to anybody because they didn't put their name down. So punching someone in, I'm going to say 2 different places, makes them take a screenshot. Quickster says the one time. Yeah, the one time I go too fast. It's the one that has the horrific idea. It's very terrible luck. Number 51 is, their name is I Took Your Nose. And their misinformation is that this is my actual name. Topaz says, I hear Jesus speaking in the corner of the stream. Is this normal? Ah! Wait, how do I can't get it back on. There it goes. Okay, we're fine. I'm not getting excommunicated today. We're all good. Flaming Halo says, this is true. J-Dude says, how did they learn that fact? Troller says, guys, we're losing him. Someone call the paramedics. Avastra says, that one is a classic. Is it overdone, though? Yeah, I don't think I can put this in, because it doesn't make sense if I'm the one saying it. Ectoplasm says, hi, Charlie. Bootyman says, I like this guy. He's got something wrong with him. I bet he's honest all the time. That's so true. That's so true. I have many things wrong with my brain, and I only speak in truths. All right. Number 52 is from Call Me Maybe, and their submission is 31 out of the 45 former U.S. presidents were in defeat. If they put in a stupid name like this, I don't think I'm going to credit them, because I assume that means they don't want credit, and they just wanted to write something stupid without having their name on it. Troller says, get away from the cross. Don't you remember what happened last time? Edward says to turn it upside down. Flaming Halo says, Flaming Halo says, Flaming Halo says, Flaming Halo says, I love nested statements. That's so true. I love nested statements. I love nests in general. Birds are very pretty. Number 53 is... I found the one Random was talking about that I shouldn't show on stream. It's it's about Mr. Rogers and a certain crime that I probably shouldn't say on stream. So I'm going to go ahead and skip it. I'm going to skip it, I think. Oh, number 54 is from Luna. Awesome. Luna says, the proper response to welcome is came well. However, this phrase is considered archaic and not commonly used in modern English. Swear says that's not a lie. That's true. Everything in this stream is true. Evan Kim 2406 says, are you going to read all of the 300 responses in this stream today? You know, I'm thinking about it. I don't know how much time it would take. Good grief, we've been streaming for an hour and a half already, and we're on number 54. The only way I'm going to get through these at an acceptable rate is if I stop reading chat so much. Mira says Cadbury, and I immediately, it's like a tick. It's like a Tourette's thing. I immediately just read chat as soon as chat appears. I have no focus. Okay, so Luna's is good, and I'm going to put it in the good column. All right. So next up, we have number 55, which is from Taco. Oh, sweet. Looks safe enough. Taco says, in D&D cosmology, the modrons in Mechanus represent the lawful of geometry, and the Slade are the opposite of geometry, which is frog. Okay, I like the opposite of geometry being frog, but the rest of it is a reference that my metric for things being too obscure for people to understand is if I understand them or not. I'm a very biased person. I don't think enough people would know who the Modrons or Mechanus are, so I'm not going to do that. But I like it. Cade's Pauling says you should close the poll and end the stream when the ones so far are done. When I get to 268, I don't think so. I'm gonna close it at 300. Topaz says, I don't think you saw it, but I submitted some that you might see around the 170 mark. Oh, awesome. I suppose I can check now because I'm like skipping around. So what is 170? Actually, I should probably check the other one. And I was at 55. Don't let me forget. The other one is from Jade. Is that like Jade Ewow? Holy crap. I'm going to skip to look for Topaz. There's Mutt, Callisto, Edward Crop, Tetravolt. I don't see any from Topaz. Banana Slug Woo. I think Topaz is just lying and he didn't submit anything. Milo City says, internet footprint, need to stay safe. Mariud is yelling focus at me. I'm so... Chat is telling me there's like 10 different suggestions of which number I was at. It was 55. I wrote it down. You can't trick me. I should read 170 to be safe. Okay, 55 is the one from Taco. 56 is also from Taco. Taco says, in the mobile game Royal Match, the king lives peacefully day after day. However, his dreams are often nightmares with a dark theme, suggesting he's going through Stockholm Syndrome with his gay lover Winston, his butler. Yeah, I don't think you need to know the reference to find this one funny. I kind of like that one, actually. That one's really good, Taco. I'm going to put that in. I might modify it a little bit to be about a different reference, but the details are solid. Banana Slug Woo. Wait, why did you say my name? I was looking through... Topaz directed me to where his submission was, so I wanted to skip toward it, and he said 170, but I didn't see it there, so I was just looking at the other names around 170, and Banana Slug Woo was one of them. Smoke VR is trying to gaslight me into thinking it was 55. I didn't skip number 46! I read it twice! I'm going crazy, I'm going crazy, I'm going crazy. Number 57 is from a person who is not Taco, who is Taco Yummy, who says, Olive Garden released their never-ending soups in response to the people who kept choking and dying from the breadsticks. That's like the good kind of bad. I don't think I'm going to include that one, but it made me giggle. Topaz says, I don't remember the exact numbers where I submitted, but I hashtag swear I did. I wonder if I can search through the individuals for names. What is your name? No, it doesn't list them like in order. And also we're at 289 responses, so only 11 more people can submit responses. I am closing it at 300 because the stream will never end if I just let them go infinitely. So once it hits 290, I am closing it. I'm sorry. I might open it up again. Mariud and Smoke say this one is good. I don't understand like what the joke. It's just random funny. Okay, number 58 is from Bobby again. The majority of NASA's funding is earned by selling their photos of space as desktop wallpapers online. That's good. Bobby is a powerhouse. And he also doesn't harass me very much. So he's like Thundercube without the downsides. Okay, so number 59 is from... Oh, it's from Rab. He says, oil derricks are named after their inventor, John Oil. Oh, we're at 300. I gotta close it. Accepting responses. No more. Okay, I stopped it from responding at 303. Okay, well, whatever. We're at... I get it. You can close that now. Can I make this bar go away? Can I like AdBlock Plus or uBlock Origin make it disappear? Can I zap it? This bar. Yeah. Oh, it didn't work. What the heck? Okay, whatever. I guess we're just gonna have this yellow bar here. Whatever. Smoke says I submitted around 250 under the name Blender. 303 page not found. That's what it means. No more 24-hour stream. Mugen Joyer says he couldn't think of a good one yet. I could open it back up and just say I'm only going to do up to 300 this stream. I think I can do that. I can open it back up. Okay, it should be responding again. I'm only going to go to 300. I'm going to write that down. Stop streaming at number 300. So if you submit anything after this, then I'm not going to be able to get to it today, but we might do another stream at some point. Thunder says, I had one all typed out, but you closed the form before I could submit it. Mila City says, I submitted it around 250. I didn't want to fumble your name. Bootyman says, we'll never go home. We'll never make it home. Cheese says, maybe open it up after you read more. Or I could not do that. So we're skipping this one, going to number 60, which is from I'm a Ducklin. I think is that the guy? No, he said his name was Gink. IKEA says, you got to keep it pushing if you don't want to do another 24-hour stream. Ging. All right, so Rab... Oh, wait, that's Rab's again. This one is number 60 from I'm a Ducklin. Video games cause violence outside of the United States. This is because the average American is already violent by default, so it does not affect them. Yeah. Flaming Halo says, do you miss me? And Cockatoo Transit, hey, what if you turn this into a literal book? I mean, with 308 responses, I think we might have enough material at this point. Mariud is just yelling, lock in. Sadabel says, dang, I missed it. I actually opened it up again, so you can submit a response if you'd like. I might, if someone says like a specific number, I might check that one, but I guess I don't know if you'd be able to know what your number was. Anyway, this one's alright. Video games cause violence, but it doesn't do anything in the United States because Americans are already violent. Yeah, but my audience, I imagine, is primarily American, so I don't want to do a joke that's not that bad. Number 61 is... it's from Ink6, and his misinformation is iRDM, which is so great. Quickster says, how many responses did you expect? I expected like maximum 100, because when I started the stream there were 75, and I thought we might get maybe 25 during the stream when people had ideas, but it's just an endless cascade. The ant, like what Mariud's, or it might have been Troller, said, the ant crawling across the endless expanding log. 62 is from Sumi, who says, sometimes I'm a 6-year-old man. Number 63 is from Sumi, who says, sometimes I tape myself to the microwave and pretend that it's a bomb just to get me to feel something. Carrot36 says, how many will you read? I'm thinking about stopping at number 300 unless someone is able to say what their number was, and if it's like a really good one, I might be able to check that. But yeah, what Quickster said is probably right. He says there's a lot of garbage posting in the responses. These can't all be 300 serious responses. Real Roblox is just saying 312 over and over again. Is that like a suggestion for which number to go to? Okay, we were at 63. I don't want to put like what happens if I type 63 in my search bar? Oh yeah, it shows terrible things. I cannot show that on stream. Okay, so I'm going to go to 312 that Real Roblox is spamming, which is, that's a snoozing nuke post. What? That's not you. Okay, going back to 63 then. So, Sumi says, sometimes I tape myself to the microwave. I already read that one. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. Sumi says, the statistics of deviated septums have increased alongside the increase of political corruption. Yokitem says, remember, you were at 46. Snoozing Newt says, read 312. Okay, well, if Snoozing Newt is here, then I gotta read it, I guess. It is fine. Okay, so we were on 64. 64. He says, contrary to popular belief, the number 10 is also 10 in binary. This is because the numbers from 2 to 9 just don't exist in binary for some reason. That's just how binary works. Like, 10 is displayed as 10. I may be missing the joke here. I'm kind of losing my mind. Chat, is this funny? Am I going crazy? Is this funny and I'm just too stupid to understand? I feel like this should be funny. Edward says the Nintendo number. He's got dementia. I may have dementia. Smoke says he likes it. I don't know. I'm gonna go back to. Oh crap! What was the number? Well, I may have actually forgot the number. I may actually have forgotten the number. Yes, I know that 10 in binary is 2, but it's displayed as 10, so it's called the same thing. Stop asking us questions. We always lie. I think it was 64. Yeah, someone said 64, and that sounds right, because it was Sumi. Yeah, it was Sumi. Okay, we're back to reality. Oop, there goes gravity. Good grief! That is. Why are there so many numbers? Hello, I'm Luke. Welcome. Thank you for telling me another incorrect number. It's not 67. Alex says, I left for like 5 minutes. Didn't you say that you were going to cap it at 300? I did, but then someone made me feel bad because they hadn't submitted yet. It was Mugen, I think, so blame that guy. What is Blood doing with those numbers? Is Blood Einstein? Mount Grape says 1. Okay, anyway, going to the next one, which is 65, which is Sumi again. The true saying is actually Rome wasn't built. They added that last part to get people to believe that Italians exist. That's awesome. My faith in Sumi was lowering by the second, but that one is actually really solid. I'm Luke says, no problem, you're welcome. I love spreading misinformation and lies. Think Then Forgot says, what's going on? So I recently made a video that is misinformation. It's a bunch of humorously untrue facts. And when I uploaded it, several of my friends said that they had ideas for misinformation. So I opened up a forum where anyone could submit information they want, and I'm reviewing them live. And I've gotten through, that's like a quarter of them, I think. I'm trying to go a little faster. Number 66 is also from Sumi. We have too many Sumi responses. A silly Billy is a type of clown that was made in the 1660s, and they were a person who would eat bananas and trip over them constantly. I'm sorry, but that's just not. I think Sumi was trying to spam responses. The Italian ones was really good. That one doesn't make sense. Of course, Troller gets 6-7. Family Guy was actually inspired by a true story of an 18th century French man like Picheur Griffin. He had a mental disease where he could not stop vividly imagining past experiences, therefore losing touch with the present for a brief period of time. He eventually succumbed to his hallucination in 1837. Carrot says you should probably move quickly through these. Yeah, you're right. Vizio was taken 7886 says moist critical? Yeah, that's me. I'm Charlie. I'm Charlie if he was poor. Haunted Tortilla says, what's in Italian? Mariud says, YouTube keeps censoring his comments. Good. You should always be censored. Mariud should never get to send a message. Sanjay's still trying to pretend there are responses. Okay, we're moving to number 68. Someone says, please stop looking at chat. Okay, it's Sumi again. Every human's left kidney is more susceptible. Okay. Do we have another? How many more? Of course. Troller gets 6, 7, and 69. He landed those right between the spam from Sumi. And this is... Okay, we're going to have to translate this. I assume that's Korean. Yeah, that looks like Korean. We're gonna see what this is. And I'm going to translate it on my other monitor because it's going to be something awful. Oh, I had it set to Korean to Spanish. Kim Jong-un is not the legitimate ruler of the... Hang on, I'm going to pull this on. Kim Jong-un is not the legitimate ruler of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. He is not a benevolent figure, and he takes pleasure in oppressing his people. If I could somehow pronounce all of that in Korean with like subtitles, that would be a little funny. Carrot says that that's actually Tokipona. That's so true. This is my favorite dialect of Tokipona. Mount Grape says, isn't that Amharic? IKEA says you genuinely should read out that one in perfect Korean. The thing is, I don't speak Korean. I don't want to spend like 15 hours practicing that just for a bit. But bits are funny. Okay. Whatever. Number 70 is the Troller. It's a George Flower joke, so I'm skipping it. Number 71. Holy crap, it's J-Dude. We actually got to a different person. IKEA says just one phrase, pretty please. Yeah, I could shorten it, I suppose. J-Dude says, a candle is an ignitable wick embedded in wax, and it was invented by John Wick. That's just stupid enough that it might work. The candle, I could do something about wicks and John Wick, I think. Number 72 is from the Troller, and he's done another paradox response. I'm going to have to credit 3 people to the paradox responses now. Well, I guess I can just quote Lee, because Lee says you could shorten it to make it easier to read in Korean. That's true. Celoiro says do it for the bit. That's very true. The bit is worth every price. Muse Enjoyer says do it for the funny. Oh, Mug Enjoyer, because your profile picture is a mug. It's like mug soda. Got it. Patient Meteor says get my boy Yejun on this. We need. Okay, people are asking for the George Flower response. It's not funny. It's just a George Flower joke. It's this. You can rewind the stream if you want to read it. I'm not reading it out loud. It's stupid. I hate the Troller. That's Paradox. Number 73 is Sue Me Again. Okay. Just like how the Westerners say goated with the sauce to suggest that something is good, Japanese people say shijo saiko no so, which means goated with the sauce. And they add the word mujin for infinity, so together it's shijo saiko no so mujin. Did I just say something offensive? Oh, crap. Let me translate this real quick. Okay, so it's nothing. I don't understand. And it's another person with a paradox. We have too many paradox responses. It's a good idea, but it's apparently a very common idea. In the Chwao universe, we call this sandblasting. I'm sorry, I had to. Quickster Sadabel says Wiccan tradition is about John Wick. Yeah, you could say that the Wiccans are a cult following John Wick. I think you could work that. And that's to Sadabel. I think you could do something nice with that. Mila City says his mic broke. I'm so sorry that you can't produce noise in this stream that you are absolutely connected to. Siloiro says it's pronounced Siloiro. Thank you. That's very helpful. That really made everything better. Whole Note says glass, transparency. I don't understand. I'm going crazy. My like headlamp is gonna give out. I don't have a streaming light, so my lighting setup is I took one of those like headbands. It's a reading light. I've got a reading light hanging from my monitor, and it's had battery power. It's gonna run out. Anyway, number 76 is wait, did I skip 75? Ah crap, I skipped 75. That's Toasted Artist, who says every stream ever made has a feeling that reflects back onto the streamer. Be careful, if the stream mood gets too low, the stream will die and the streamer will go missing. Well, if that were true, I would have died several hours ago because I'm feeling crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm going stupid. Sackwire says, I just got back. What's happening? Terrible things. There's gaslighting. There's dumb responses. There's sandblasts. I'm going to 76. It's from 0xC74E, who says that certain CAPTCHAs, mainly those provided by Google, have a fail-safe mechanism. If one fails the puzzle around 25 times consecutively, you will legally become a robot. That's pretty solid, actually. I like that one. And their name makes me think that they did get turned into a robot, which would be very sad if true. Or sad in, like, the meme way. J-Dude says, should have known there would have been so many John responses this round, or I would have used my DRP. Morpheus says, streamer, can we peep the horrors? I think I have some horrors around here. Where are the horrors? Oh, there's the horrors. I didn't... Okay, my mic's still functioning. Here are the horrors. Laugh. Laugh! Laugh! Okay, thank you. Thank you for laughing. These are the horrors. I'm sorry to whoever died. I really hope it wasn't Tem. That would make me sad. Anyone else, you can die. I don't... Swear says, screw you, Sackwire. Awesome. Mariute says, you would have died during the first 24-hour stream. So true. Bootyman says, I'm the biggest horror of them all. Thanks, Boogeyman. These amateurs couldn't handle the fan fiction. That's so true, Troller. Alright, 77. We're almost to 100, guys. This is from Watt, who says, Scotch tape was made to create little straws to drink scotch out of, but was repurposed when people realized the tiny straws could be used for siphoning gas from random cars. Yeah, that's... It doesn't make sense for it to be Scotch tape, though. Like, how do you make little straws out of tape? I guess you could. It's a bit of a stretch. From Toasted, again, says that grass is green, as when gamers go outside and touch them, some of their life force is sucked into the grass, turning them green. Yeah, that's kind of like the beef one. Quickster is spamming the crazy copy pasta. Mugenjoyer... Oh no, Mug Enjoyer says he doesn't feel so good. I think the horrors may have taken Mug Enjoyer. I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to be you. It was supposed to be Lee. Alright. Yeah, I think I can do something with this. This is good. Toasted Enjoyer. Or Toasted again. Alright. Moving on to 79. Which is... John Hamlet says he wrote Hamlet. Amazing. 80 is Chicken, who says autism causes Tylenol. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. Everything is so stupid. I'm going crazy. Joe Blarone says German Shepherds aren't called that because they're German. They were engineered by a dude named German. That would be good. I think we've done a joke of that format. Like that's pretty similar to the John Wick joke. Oak Glen E7P says, "Hey, I just got here. What's the name of the song playing?" There is no song playing. You did not just get here. You are someone's alt, and you are trying to trick me. There is no music playing. I'm not crazy. I can pull my... No, wait, I can't pull OBS on because I don't have a screen capture up. But Evan Kim says, "Do I have permission to start watching this stream on the toilet?" Yeah, I think that's okay. That'll be all right. Edvard, we finally got to one from Edward Kropp. He says, "Mixing bleach with ammonia is perfectly safe to mix up and use." Yeah, I did quite a few of this thing that obviously kills you is perfectly safe. I did like 3 of those in the previous video. So I could probably include one more, but I think I want to add a little variety to them. So probably not any more of that type of joke. Okay, 83. This one is From iRDM? What? I do not have a shrine to my beloved Richard Simmons in my closet that I pray to every night by boogieing down the pounds to the beat of Smash Mouth's smash hit All-Star while wearing a Speedo. Too soon. Too soon. This is, so if you don't know, this is a reference to, we did a really awful stream a long time ago where I was, so Cheese didn't know this, but I was struggling with my weight a little bit. I'd gained like 15 pounds in a couple months, and he, just as a joke, got, just not related to that at all, like I was a pretty normal weight, he got a video called Boogieing Down the Pounds, which was like a Zumba dance video for getting your cardio in and losing weight. And it was like 3 minutes after I mentioned something about my weight that he pulls out that stupid disc. So we streamed us dancing to that. Well, I guess it was just me. He was kind of watching and malevolently laughing. RVBA says this song is a banger. Damaki says the song playing is called 10 Hours of Nothing But Silence. Thank you, Damaki. That is I'm glad I'm not crazy. Sam SP5ZK says he drank Dr. Breen's water? Hey Wild Creeper says, I love that most of the things said in the video were something like Hugbees would say. I'm not familiar with Hugbees. That was a great stream. Why is Markiplier crashing out? I'm not Markiplier. Phoenix, oh, my earbud came out. Carrot, that is actually a really good idea. Read chat every 10 responses. That is an amazing idea. I'm going to get to 90 and then read chat. So this one is not true. This one is not true. The next one is from Lil Bro. Did you know Garfield the cat is actually based on a tabby cat who actually was, oh, I forgot to scroll down, actually was Garfield the president. It's true. So this one is too long to include, but you could probably do something about Garfield the cat being Garfield the president. 85 is from Mirror. The skin underneath your fingernail is called the I'm not reading that. If you actually touch this skin, you unlock a secret cutscene. Okay, so now we know who wrote the Hamlet joke. I don't want to do a Sugandese joke in my video because that's kind of NSFW. So this is from Not a Real Person Definitely, who says, iDRM does not have me locked up in his basement, and I do not need immediate and urgent help to get out of it. Yeah, that's not true. I don't have anyone in fact, we don't have a basement. You don't hear any screaming. You hear nothing. You don't hear any screaming. Okay, so 87 is Mirror 2 Electric Boogaloo. The word rust comes from the word red and dust because of its dusty texture and its red color. Okay, so that's like a pretty textbook example. It makes sense. It's good misinformation, but it's not really that funny. So I probably wouldn't include it. Number 88 is from Kvalench. And he says, referencing the constant use of different locations, I'm not walking between these shots. I can just teleport. That's actually a really strong idea. I am going to include that. Playing with camera angles is really awesome. I was actually planning on doing another one sort of similar to that, but they could definitely run in tandem. All right, 89, two more until I read chat, is from Via, who says, tomatoes are not actually vegetables, but a red meat that's rich in rare vital minerals, such as uvarovite or obsidian, which can only be found otherwise through refinement by a turbo-encabulator Model 7 or above. This is sort of just the random equals funny kind of joke. It's all right, but I probably wouldn't do something like that. And number 90 is from Mirror 3, who says the Latin word puppus is exactly what it sounds like. What? It's probably gonna be Oh. Oh, it's poop. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Mirror. Okay, so now we've gotten through 10. Is that what that noise was? Are you showing this video to your mom? I am not showing this video to my mom. Actually, no, I did show the misinformation video to my mom. I don't think she's going to watch this stream, though. Chowie Plays says, you look like the lead singer from Nickelback. Thank you? That's Kurt Cobain was Pearl Jam, I think. But not that. I don't know who that guy's name was, but I assume it's a compliment, because lead singers are usually pretty cool. Sackwire says, hey, iRDM, please just turn off the music. It burns. There's no music. There is no music. PJ says, I just thought of one similar to that teleporting one where you say something like, I can time travel a certain number of seconds into the future, and then just put the rest of the footage at that specific time. That is also really fun. Oh my goodness. The chat suggestions are like somewhat better than the freaking form suggestions. Well, not on average. They've been kind of mixed, but that is really solid. Thank you, PJ. All right, so 91. Now I've read Kurt Cobain is Nirvana. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not a music guy. Chowie says his name is Chad Kroger. Interesting. Banana says I look like Kurt Cocaine. Banana says, thank you for playing Bluffing Star Katamari. Okay, so I'm going to go to 100 and then read chat again. Number 91 is from Toasted Again. The reason ghost is spelled with an H is because after making so many rules, they were so tired that they accidentally typed an H in ghost. This led to mass confusion, but after much government propaganda, it is now the typical spelling. I mean, yeah, that's all right. It's okay. Germa... This one's from Jarma985, who says Bielefeld is a real place and I live there. I might do that, but for Wyoming, because American audience. But that, yeah, I could do. No, wait, I forgot. I did a Wyoming isn't real joke in my first one. Oops. 93 is from. I can't read number 93. I can't even read their name, and the response is also really bad. It's about... Good grief. Whoever wrote this needs to have their head checked. 94 is from Edward Kropp, who says, did you know? Americans didn't learn how to read sheet music and would make stuff up on the spot. And thus jazz was created. Jazz was created because people didn't know how to read sheet music. Yeah, that works. And also I need to add more rows. I need to add... Oh, I forgot. I've been forgetting to add the Hall of Befuddlement. I need to put some of the terrible ones there. Have there been any really, really bad ones? I gotta put the Bringing Down the Pounds one. I guess... No, it's fine. I'll find it later. Number 95 is Mirror 4. Who says HAT is an acronym which stands for hair altering because it alters your hair after you wear it. The acronym, if I'm going to do an acronym response, it needs to be pretty strong. I'm sorry. Number 96 is Bobby B, just kidding, Thundercube in disguise, who says universities are called that because they are in the universe. Thundercube 14. All right. 97 is from Ectoplasm 7, who says gambling is positively correlated to money. That's so true. 98 is Thunder 15, Burger Cube Foot Lettuce. He says, it is widely known that cats would eat you if you die. However, less people know that you don't actually have to own cats for this to happen. The ancient practice of burying human remains arose out of necessity to prevent a horde of feline scavengers from spotting suddenly and devouring the body. Yeah, I'm relieved that Thundercube has missed, so I don't have to keep complimenting him. 99, Mirror 5. Frankenstein was, in fact, the name of the monster. Years of mistranslations of the original Frankenstein text made it seem that Frankenstein was the name of the scientist. The true name of the scientist is Dr. Bernard. Okay, you were kind of losing me, but the name in the end being stupid makes it work. I like that one a lot. Good pull, Mirror. Okay, and 100. Name is Via, and they say, studies show that humans are all secretly Muppets in disguise. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to checking the chat again after I write this down. Which, Sackwire asks, will you be using this form in future streams or starting a new one? That is a good question. Because I want there to be a possibility that I don't want you to have to wait like 2 hours for your response to be read. Which Kyoger says he's number 353. So I may make a new one. Snoozing Note says we may need to make sure everything is misinformation. You look like you're a science teacher. Lunar0129 says you look like you're a science teacher playing a Shakespeare character in the play. That is a unique insult. Damaki says we've been listening to the same song. There is no music. The Art Devil says Kurt Cobain was the lead singer from Pearl Jam. Would be a pretty good... Yeah, that actually kind of does work. It's not that funny, but I think I can write it down in my IDs document at least. Delete this part because it's stinky. And this is from the Art Devil. All right, so we're going through number 10. Sam says he's 3,500 plus. Okay, we've been streaming for almost 2 hours. The Rabbids song is not playing! It's not real! I didn't fill my water bottle enough. There's no water left. I'm drowning. I mean dying of thirst. I have 2 water bottles, but I don't know where my other one is. I may have to eat the Among Us. Okay, so now we're gonna... Chowie Plays says, can you change the song? Lo-Fi Jelly Dreamer says, this is fire. There is no song. The Insane Falsetto Unreal. Karl Marx, why did you cut the beard? Your video glitched when you said that? Now that I would actually believe, because my webcam is kind of crap. Anyway, I'm going to do the next 10. Number 101 is also from Via, which is the same thing. No, it's not. It glitched. Mirror 9 says that my title rhymed. Mirror 9, that's right, I lied. I could probably do something about something that rhymes but doesn't actually rhyme. 102... Mylocity. I changed usernames, I forgot. Frick was originally a shortened term online for frolicking, as nature lovers constantly chatted about their nature walks, but quickly changed connotation when kids used this as a bypass to swear in games. Just went outside to frick in the grasslands. 103. Your mom's mom says the flute was named after John Edwards Flute, a psychologist from the 1300s who had nothing to do with its invention. Yeah, MJK, you're not wrong. I think we fulfilled the go insane condition. That is what I made the title. The title is like, doing this until I go insane. I think I have gone insane. I think I'm kind of going crazy. I'm kind of losing it. I'm going stupid. This one is really good, though. I don't think this is a real person's name, so I'm not gonna... Oh, I already did that. Okay. 104. Burger King... I'm sorry. It just comes out. Art Devil says, I like the idea of a psychologist from the year 1300. J-Dude says, put another one in, but think it's too far back. Well, let's check number 363. I'm going to scroll through these until I get to one that's from J... Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's 361, and I was at 104, which I'm going to type in chat so I cannot forget it. So it's 361, which is from J-Dude, who says, inside all common Western toilets, there are miniature creatures directly connected to the plumbing, enslaved to make sure things operate correctly. If you put your face inside the bowl after flushing and listen closely, you can hear them scream. I like encouraging people to stick their faces in toilets. I can work with this, absolutely. Okay, so back to the number I was at, which I remember because it's 104, because I wrote it down. I'm not going crazy. You can't, people in chat are saying numbers that aren't 104, but it's, Tim, it's not 56! It's not 56! It hasn't been 56 for 8,000 years. Okay, this one's from Gilded Cheese. It says, grilled cheeses are a misspelling of grilled cheese, a term used by sailors to describe the... Oh, gill cheese, a term used by sailors to describe the oil derived from whaling. This substance would be eaten fresh between 2 slices of bread or with a sliced liver of the whale. That one's okay. 104.5. Hey, remember how you were only reading chat every 10... Crap! I was reading chat every 10 responses. I'm not going to read chat until 110. I'm terribly sorry. Human interaction is addicting. This one is from Banana Slug Woo, who says, Morse code was invented by the evil brother of the inventor of Horse code. The reason that John Morse's Morse took off and John Horse's Horse code didn't was due to the fact that horses can't be programmers since they have hooves. That is peak. That's like 9.5 out of 10. That is really good. All right, 106. What is your name? GGame24, who says, the average coffee mug can hold up to 400 liters of fluid, which is barely enough to contain the urine of 7 wasps. Okay, that's like crossing the line 3 times, which I don't think that's actually a term. This is crazy. I don't think I'm going to include it, not because it's like inappropriate or unfunny or anything. It's just like so random that it goes from boring random to interesting random to incomprehensible random. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not a comedic theorist. This one's from Joe Blarone, who says, piano is actually an acronym. It stands for Press in a Note O. The reason that the O isn't a word is because it's also an acronym that stands for Oh No, the Evil Music Man is He. This one's so stupid. So I can't include it because I don't think there's a good way to visually represent press in a note O. But that's really funny. I'm so giggly. This one is from Your Mom's Mom again, who says, the first and only Category 6 hurricane was named Harold in 1933.2. Okay. 109 is from Via, who says the Soviet Union's territory after collapse was split between the Roman Empire, Atlantis, Antarctica, the Moon, and Transnistria. I actually kind of have a joke similar to that already in the video that's about like a nonsensical being claiming territory, but this is good. I like that. 110 is from Your Mom's Mom, and it's the name John was invented by John John. Oh, of course. Of course, 2 John responses end up in hell. I should actually... There was a really bad one at 108. No. What was it? There was a... I think it was 108. Yeah, because John is kind of funny. This is the Fuddlement Hall. There we go. Okay, so now we are to 110. So I can read chat again, which Chow Plays says Absolute Cinema. Banana Slug says John Morse was actually the real name of the Morse code inventor. I know it's not. It's Samuel Morse. I've read a book before, Dinkelberg, J-Dude says we can keep going. The name John John was invented by John John John. John Newton discovered Johnity. Tem says, did you know that while it's not very commonly known to streamers, there's usually a song playing in the back of the stream, but due to copyright, the streamer cannot acknowledge it. It goes to surreal random. Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it. Like, I used to like surreal memes when I was 13, but I sort of grew out of it, where there being it's sort of like an anti-joke, where the joke is that there's nothing comprehensible to grab onto at all. Programmers like Solix Captor Homestuck, I love Homestuck. You've just made me happy. Your boy Adam 6809 says, crazy? I was crazy once. Newt says 104 is the decibel volume of the music playing. Turn it down. Mariud says, why have you been stuck on 46 this whole time? Lunar says you should say something real and then say, by the way, the info 14 facts ago was complete misinformation. That would work, but like the whole thing is misinformation, so it wouldn't make sense. Flaming Halo says hello. Hi, Flaming Halo. The toilet was invented by John John. I've read a book before Dinkelberg. I'm in pain. Smoke VR says he's gonna head out. Could you check around 250 for mine? Yeah. It's checking 250 for, and the name is under Blender. So I'm checking 251, 252, 3, 54, 5, 56, 60, 250, 249, 248, 247, 256. I don't see a Blender response even 20 responses away from 250. I can check further past it at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15. Wow, there are a lot of Sanjay responses. The Blender, I don't think this is here. I can search by individual, and like, I don't know if I can search for a name, but I'm sorry. That was not misinformation, I swear. I may just be crazy. I think there's a bit of stream delay, so numbers are getting pulled off. Mariud says, fact, iRDM reads out my entire chat. Topaz says, Homestuck is a story about some homes who get tucked into bed. So true! It's such a wholesome story where nothing bad happens. Whomst has spillened the dryness, says Sanibel. Thundercube says, popular musical Les Miserables was invented by John Valjean. So I don't know. There doesn't appear to be a Blender response. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go back to 110. I checked like from 230 to 270 and didn't see one. Okay. You should read chat more often. No, I'm not going to get through this if I keep reading chat too often. Okay, so I'm getting to 120 this time. So 111, Mirror 6 says, a study was done by Harvard on the diversity of bugs. The study was done from 1984 to 2008. It actually figured out there was only 2 species of insects, just different designs. These 2 species were called Big Long and Small Short. You know, I think to speed things up a bit, I'm going to keep all of these and read through them later, but I'm only going to read through the responses that are from people I haven't read any responses from yet. Because there are people that are submitting like 10 each. So I think I'm going to skip ahead. We've already gotten one from... Okay, there's one from I haven't had a name since the war. Any object or concept that exists between 2 different objects or concept is considered a sandwich. I'm an air sandwich, you're a wall sandwich. The universe itself is a sandwich. All things are... Yeah, I can do something. I can shorten this. I'm sorry that I can't include a name on that, because that's decent. If I shorten it, I could work with that. 114, same guy. Oh, we got one from Liquid Peppermint. Nice. Okay. In the years 2006 to 2008, the United Nations held a vote and came to the consensus that the global animal was the horned lizard. However, it was eventually decided that there would be no global animal after the United States ruined it by trying to rig the vote too many times to get the Alaskan Malamute as the global animal. Okay. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm losing myself. I'm kind of starting to lose my voice. We're 2 hours in. I'm gonna try to get to 200, and then I think I'm gonna have to call it a night. Mom's mom, no name, Mirror 7. Oh, this one's from a person I haven't seen before. F1 Exican, who says, teacups are called teacups because they're shaped like t-shirts. I'm losing myself. Lose yourself to the music, you better never let it go. Oh, you only get one shot, and never miss your chance. Another from Mirror, another from Mom's mom. We got one from Sabine, who says, bird fact, the Amish do not know about birds. This is because this is because they are too high up. I'm losing my ability to laugh. I don't know what's happening to me. Thank you, Sabine. That's great. We got one from Gilk, who said, is that the name that I was supposed to be looking for? He said it was Gink, one by Gink, where it was told from their parents, unironically, who said, 21 Pilots is a popular band from the 80s. There's always been 21 of them, and every time someone quit or died, they added a new person. None of the original 21 are still in the band. That's that's all right. You might be able to rework that. I'm going to include it just in case. This is from Gilk. Oh, crap. We got to add more rows. More rows, Batman. I need more rows. I need rows to live. I need more rows in my TWOW spreadsheet. Batman. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what voice that was supposed to be. There's Kavalanche, Mom's mom, Banana Slug, Mom. Actually, I want to check out Banana Slug because his only other one was really good. Some believe that Frederick Graf was the inventor of the fire hydrant, but this can't be verified because the patent was burned in a fire. Recently, though, a copy has been found. The inventor was actually you all along. You just don't remember. That one's interesting. I don't know if it's funny, but it's different and it's kind of clever. I might. Oh right, I didn't read chat at 120. Crap. The 21 Pilots of Theseus. Mirror says. Squidman says, "Can you pull up number near 220? There's an evil guy there." Nilbert11 says Bean. Bootyman says, "Please let me go to sleep." Okay, I'll check near 220. I'm at 127. So 220. I'm going to check 10 across. There's an evil guy there, he says. Concerned citizen. Oh, here we go. That one's actually there. Okay, so I'm going to skip from type 127 so you can't gaslight me anymore, you fiends. Oak Glen says the bird fact was mine. That was amazing, Oak Glen. That's great. Okay, so we're going to 224. Stop spamming false numbers. We have not been at 46 since 2 hours ago. 224 is from Not Evil Villain Who Wants You Dead. He says the moonwalk is called that due to moon phobia, where people have a distaste toward the moon. People thought that the moon was wrong and therefore backwards, where the walk originated from. I think I could rewrite this into a racism response. Let's go for it. And this would be from the guy who said, so it's from Squidman. Squidman VJ1RS. All right. So we're going back to where we were, which I said was 127. Okay, there we go. Tem, I swear to everything I hold dear. I swear, I'm going to throw hands. I want to throw a truck, actually. I'm going to throw an entire Ford F-350 at your skull, and you're going to be crushed into paste. Okay, Mom's mom, mirror, ectoplasm, Mom's mom, TJR musical. That's a different person who says, You never learned how to read. I could actually, I could rework that a little bit and say, like, I say to this camera, you never learned how to read. And then the text on screen is really insulting. I think that I could do that. That would be a little bit funny. Thank you, TJR Musical. All right, so we've got someone named Lark who says, the chicken came before the egg because avian embryos do not have fully developed reproductive organs yet. That just like misunderstands. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm kind of losing my mind. It may be bad for me to keep doing. My mental health may fall apart. We're almost at 400. That number is too large. It's too large. We got one from Mariud who says, you have only ever streamed once. Okay, yeah, it's a reference. I'm not gonna do reference humor, but that is funny. We got Gilded Cheese again, Your Mom's Mom, Raven again. Actually, I included Raven's was pretty good, wasn't it? I put it, didn't I? No, I didn't. Wait. I could have sworn I put one of Raven's responses down. I guess I can read this one. Oh, that's not the right one. Raven says, the term ICE raid refers to internal combustion engine raid, named after raids of internal combustion engine production plants suspected of producing internal combustion engines that suddenly turn into external combustion engines. I might keep that part of it. The ICE raid acronym isn't that funny, but this aspect of it I could rework. All right, 139, TJR Musical, Your Mom's Mom, The Bean Man. And that puts it as at 141, so I can read chat after this. He says, the reason pilots are reluctant to fly in storms is because they love to open up the windows, but umbrellas are banned by the TSA. That's cute. I like that. Okay, from The Bean Man. And now I am reading chat again. Band Blueprint says Grzeds. Lee says it's bedtime. Even Kim says see man joke. Troller says I gotta go. I can't believe I need to leave. At the stream you must read 383 and 384. And I can read those right now. Oh, they're near the end. 383. That's J-Dude, which 384, here we go. At the end of the stream, freestyle over this beat. What is this going to be? My desktop audio is off right now, so you can't hear it. I'm sorry you had to hear that. My curiosity got the better of me. I think I can probably get to 200 if I'm only looking at new people. So 141. That's the Bean Man. So Via, we've already done Your Mom's Mom, Mirror, Mom. Tetravolt 11 says, wait a minute. Isn't that an eval response? Tetravolt. What? He says turn it up. I'm not turning it up. I turned off the beat because it was terrible. It was awful. I will freestyle for the last minute of stream. Once I've gotten to number 200, I will freestyle over that. Gold 571 says we can't hear. Well, I'm sorry. It was a really bad song, so you're probably better off. 146 from Tetravolt 11. It says fans work by cooling the air around them and blowing it at you. That's just kind of pretty close to how fans actually do work. We got Lark again. Oh, there's one from Half-Blood Dragon. Cool. I've seen them in chat. They say the bass fish creates the bassiest sound of a fish. Or, well, I'm assuming this is misinformation. I'm not creative enough for this. I'm sorry, Half-Blood Dragon. Okay, Smokes did the math and said his response will be around 210. I will look for it. So we got 210, which is from Lucy, to 11, 12. There it is. Okay, awesome. We actually have the Blender response. So it's at 213, which is 37 spots away from his initial guess of 250. We were... Oh, crap. Where were we? That was 146, right? Yes, it was. I'm the best ever. I'm so good at remembering things. Okay, 213 from Blender is Wikipedia was invented to correct all the false information people kept learning from Britannica. Yeah, that's really good. I got to include that. Thank you for guiding me toward that. Sadabel says typo, it's 46. Your boy Adam says, can you check 374 for celery? Well, I do like celery. 374. It's from Yahayan. Mug Enjoyer, Sackwire, Cool Bug Facts. I don't see any from Adam. What name did you put it under? I'm going to keep going through, starting from 146 until you respond. Okay, 146. That's the one from Tetravolt. Then there's Lark again, Half-Blood, G-Game. Oh, there's one from Egadoof. Nice. I didn't know they were going to respond. 150. A common misconception is that the number infinity is infinite. The number infinity actually represents any number that is not countable by a human in 122 years. So fun fact, Oh, I'm stupid. His name is literally Celery. The name of the guy that submitted it is Celery. Okay. Let me find it. What was it? Was it 374 from Celery? We've got Yahayan, Mug Enjoyer, Yahayan, Sackwire, Cool Bug Facts, Evil, John, Sandy Asylum, Carrot, Troller, Holiday, Winter. Oh, there's your boy Adam. Okay, so your boy Adam says, did you know that celery is the most common allergy, as it also tastes extremely poor, similar to your music tastes? Celery sucks. Why would you say that? Why would you say something so mean? Celery is the best. It's the good. It's delicious. And how did you know that I liked celery? Galaxy Games 7393. Can you read the G Game one? It's less random than the last one. Sure. It was 146, I think, or it was somewhere around there. G Game was. Where is it? Is it? Where is it? Did I lose it? What number did I even? Oh, I was at 150. I got past 146. Lark, Half-Blood. There it is. Okay, G Games is 149. And its yes in hexadecimal is 6E, 6F, 2C, which is because the word yes contains 6 E's, 5 F's, and 2 C's. Yeah, that's way better. That's really good. Absolutely going in the video. That's solid. I assume enough people will know what hexadecimal is and how it works. Okay, I'm going to keep skipping through until I see new names. Liquid Chicken, G-Wiz. G-Wiz... G-Wiz 26 says, my dad is proud of me. That's a poor guy. I think I could actually include that. Sigh. G-Wiz 26. Okay, Ectoplasm is asking me to go back for one around 130. I want to get to 200, so I think this is the last custom request I'm gonna make. It was around 130, he says, from Ectoplasm. Oh, it was exactly 130. No, I can't read that. It's about something not safe for work, so I can't do that, unfortunately. But yeah. Okay. It's kind of funny, but I'm a safe for work channel, so I can't do that. Toasted, quick again, mirror. Oh, there's one from Mount Grape, who said at 158. Mount Grape said, Thailand and Costa Rica have near identical flags, only with the blue and red mixed up. This is because both flags take their inspiration from barber poles and are actually rival barber shops, reflected in the fact the head of government in both countries seem to have a competition on whose hair can go the furthest back from their hairline. That the first part of that is really solid. We could definitely do that. They're rival countries because or the flags are like that because they're rival barber shops. It's great. Okay, quick, mirror, mom, quick, Mort. Mort? Okay, we got one from a guy who's just going by Mort. Someone said, Booty Man says, come on, man. Read the one from Lucy. I'm trying to pull her. Come on, man. Do me a solid. Did I not read the one from Lucy? I don't think I... That was like in the 300s, wasn't it? I'm going crazy. Mort says, although many bakers still choose to use them in pastries, flowers are usually inedible. Okay, that's a little bit funny. Mirror says... No. Mirror says, John is stinky, poopy, and sucks. Mirror, what are you... This is why we're at 400 responses. This is what Mirror has been sending. Dude. This is why I'm skipping these responses. Okay, we're trying to get to 200. We got 35 left. Egadoof, TJR. Oh, there's ones from Sanjay. Cool. At 168. Sanjay said, the idiom green with envy actually comes from green with envy, because the state of Nevada is so green. That's like an ewow response. Because Nevada isn't green. It's dry and deserty, so that, which I guess would line up with it being misinformation, but it doesn't really work as a punchline because it doesn't make sense. Booty Man says, why do you only read my pathetic messages? Also, no, you didn't. I'm trying to pull... How does me reading the name Lucy pull you? Or help you pull a girl. I don't understand this. Anyway, I'm moving on. I want to get through these and drink water. Banana Slug. Oh, there's one from Jade. Which, if that's Jade Ewow, that's super cool. They say, the Game Awards 2025 was a good show, and Exposition 33 deserved to win 9 awards. Okay. Snoozing Newt. Mutt. Mutt says, nothing bad could possibly happen if you leave a dog in a hot car. The Beatles. It's a great Beatles quote. Callisto says, Chris actually did cross applesauce by saying it was not made from apples. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. Edvard, Tetravolt, Troller, Topaz. Topaz says running with scissors allows you to start playing as Luigi. That's so stupid. That's right on the bar of it's so stupid that it's funny. I gotta get through these 25 more, or 23 more. Sanjay, Ectoplasm, Topaz, Snoozing Newt, Anomalocorus just says this is misinformation, so we got another paradox. Mom's mom, George Bush. There's a... Okay. Someone responded as George Bush and said 9/11 was not an inside job. Lunar says there are about 42 spread from two... Oh, Lunar is joking. Edward says read yours. It was... What was it? Where is it? I've lost it. Weird Al doesn't actually know how to play the accordion, and all the playing is recorded by his secret twin brother, Normal Yankovic. I'm not listening to Edvard anymore. Okay, so 185 is Snoozing Newt, then Quick, Via, Topaz, Lark, the Timekeeper. Okay, the Timekeeper says this is the last submission. That's it. Misinformation. Good job. Uh, Barack Obama says the reason baby teeth fall out is actually because your mouth secretes an erosive chemical that slowly burns the inside of your mouth until the full-grown teeth are exposed. Metro Gondola says, I have to go. Could you look near 270 for the name Your Mom's Mom? Are you the one that's been submitting 50 responses as Your Mom's Mom? Tyrannosaurus Rex says, I think you should do that booty man a solid and help him pull. Give me a number range and I will check, and if it's not in that number range, I'm not listening to you ever again, and I'm shooting you in the head with my Glock 570. Okay, awesome. Mary Youth says, look at my previous messages. You're getting 1984'd in live chat. Yes, there's gonna be a second part to the stream. Topaz says, can you read my other two? I have 9 left, so I've got a little time. Topaz's other two were so we were at 191. Topaz's other two were each Sharpie produced actually is produced with a different scent by the manufacturers. Sometimes it's really subtle, so make sure to get a really strong whiff of each one. I think I could do that with something that's more toxic to huff, like, I don't know, paint, or... So I can work with this. Something more toxic than that is like saying that they're all scented. And the other Topaz one was... Where is it? It's before George Bush. Dang, dude. Okay, 180 says that Q is pronounced with 0 letters. So true. So true. Yeah, Vizio says you got to close the submission eventually. I think I'm going to keep it open and delete all the ones that I reviewed in the stream, and then... Actually, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm lost in this infernal world. I don't know where I am. I'm just going to get through the last ones. I was at 189, I think. That was the Barack Obama one, yeah? I'm getting to 200, and then I'm stopping. No, that was Lark. Then there's the Timekeeper, Barack Obama. There's one from Random. I love that guy. I think this is Random Lambda and not Random 123. He says, I have used cross-site scripting to inject a rat into your computer through this forum. If you put your ear up to your computer, you will be able to hear it chewing your wires. That could actually work as not a targeted attack on me. I could do that, like saying that's happening to the person who's watching the video. Okay, so 8 more. There's one from Raven, Snoozing Newt. There's one from Winter. Winter says that you will die on or after December 31st, 2029 at 5 a.m. EST. I'm worried. 196 is Bean Man, Barack Obama. Barack Obama said, I don't have an essay due in 30 minutes. Lobster Keeper says, I forgive you. John Bible says, John Bible. And the very last one, I'm feeling risky, so let's just click on it without even checking what it is. It's from Liquid. It says, the woman known as Liquid Peppermint is very normal and did not do anything with any paper or pencils or erasers, I promise. Okay, so we're at 200, so I can take a couple requests just because I feel like I've got a few minutes left in me. So are there any response? If you have like a range or like a number you want me to check, I can do that within the next 10 minutes or so. Did the Tyrannosaur guy, or did Booty Man say what the number was? 210-ish. Okay, read the Lucy one. Oh, it is exactly... Booty Man, I can't read this. It's about the... how big a certain human orifice can stretch. I'm not reading that out loud. You and your freaking T-Rex can go to hell. Aiden Boy says most people will live past that date. Probably, I hope. Um, cool bug facts around 374-ish. Okay. 374. Is that from Cool Bug Facts? Or... Wait, yeah, there is a person named Cool Bug Facts. Okay. Okay. The Great Depression is a very big hole people found. That one's really good. Thank you for directing me to that. I'm glad we found that one. Agony 284 says his is near 400. I can check that for him and Sanjay. Sanjay's was the only antidote to AI is Weird Al Yankovic, and I don't know what name yours was under Agony. You said it was near 400. Oh, there's one by Agony. Agony at... This is 404. Says that if you drink H2O2, you'll be perfectly fine. So true. That is so true. Cockatoo Transit says 274 bus guy. That's from Lucy again, who says, fun fact, there are no more submissions. I don't see a bus guy at 274. There's another one from iRDM. Yeah, there is no war in bossing. Say Carrot T from around 360. There's Greasy, J-Dude, Carrot T. Carrot T. Carrot T says you did not just lose the game. Awesome. Awesome person. Oh, 274. Well, that is certainly a different number. This is from the bus guy. At E. No, there's nothing around 274. What are you talking about? There is nothing here. Okay, are there any other new one at 410? Thunder says you should read whatever the most recent submission is. Sure. 416 is from Nerdy Gal. Okay, this isn't a misinformation. But it's Nerdy Gal saying Google form how to image insert. I think I'm gonna read one more fact and then I'm gonna end it with the epic Squidward yell rap. Well, actually, I can turn that on right now. This is our famous stream ending music. Okay. Evan says, I've been asking for like 20 minutes. Can you do between 2:20 and 2:30? Yeah, that can be the last one we do. It's between 2:20 and 2:30 from Evan. Cavalanche, Mirror, Concerned Citizen, Not an Evil Person, Mutt, Raven. Okay, here we go. Evan Kim, 2406, 228. So this will be the last one. In 1997, an ad for John Romero's new game, Daikatana, boldly stated that John Romero was about to make you that. The game released in 2000 and was a commercial failure. However, contrary to popular belief, the ad wasn't about John's game. It was about the fact that John Romero was changing reality to give every technological device the ability to run Doom. This is why you can run Doom on a pregnancy test, fridge, and calculator in the current year of our Lord 2023. Alright, well that was an experience, and we ended exactly 420 responses. What could be more fitting for a stream as stupid as this? Yeah, the music stopped. It was only a minute long. Thank you guys so much for all of these submissions. This was really fun. My voice hurts. I'm gonna end the stream now. So thank you for making this as fun as it was. You're all very creative. And Booty Man is not going to pull Lucy. So sorry to break it to you.